Listen!
Colgera's theme has taken the Zelda world by storm. But the Wind Temple itself has so many references that most people missed. Let's start from the beginning. So already we've heard a slight nod to the Hebra region, and this is used in Breath of the Wild too. When you're walking around those mountains, you hear that little woodblock sound. Let's keep going. That is a nod to the opening of Rito Village. Listen to this. So sort of this incomplete reference to the opening of Rito Village. How cool is that? Beautiful. Recommend headphones, by the way. It sounds so much better. Da, 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 da. We're going to take this nice and slow. There's a lot of music to cover, so as we go through this, there's like 30 references. Anybody know what that is? Anybody remember Tulin's theme? And then from this note, it starts again. And it continues. If you don't believe me, later it plays the full thing. You're gonna see through this section that it starts playing pieces of things that you're not really supposed to recognize yet, and then it fills them in and plays them a little bit longer later, and you go, oh, that's what that... So it kind of like slow releases this amazing nostalgia and familiarity of, I think I know that theme. I'm not sure from where, but... and my guess is that you guys probably recognize 3 or 4, maybe 7 or 8 things from this. It's taken me a long time to compile all the examples. I found stuff today, and I'm just now filming. It's taken me 10 months to film this. Let's keep going. I need some coffee. Okay, that comes back later. Da-dum. That reverse sound. Got a whole theory for that. Da-da. That comes back later too. There's so much to talk about. Okay, that da-dum are the exact same 2 notes that the Wind Temple starts on. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, and then it starts the da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. You'll see what I mean later. I've got a whole theory for that as well. Okay, should I get into it now? Here's theory number 1. Anyone remember the main theme for Tears of the Kingdom? Okay, so those 4 notes do occur right in the center of the Tears of the Kingdom main theme. Could be a reference to that. Theory number 2. When we get to the end boss theme at the end of this video, you're going to hear that come back. Not just in the intro, but in the entire theme. It plays all throughout. But that's not the craziest part. It comes from somewhere else. You're going to have to wait and see. I told you, there's so much. Like every 4 seconds I'm stopping it. Let's keep going. Okay, couple of things. Number 1, this, I believe it's mostly a reference to Attack on Vomito. Some say it's from Blizzetta. It could be. That's from Twilight Princess. Maybe. Blizzetta is also cold. There's a little connection to that, but obviously in Breath of the Wild, the divine beasts were attacking. Like, we're doing the same thing. So it's like a direct parallel from the game that this is a sequel based off of. So that one I definitely see Blizzetta, maybe. The other thing you may not have noticed is that those octave pianos occur in Hyrule Castle theme. Listen to this. Not only that, but it's the 6-note descending like Demon King theme from Tears of the Kingdom. How cool is that? Wow, how interesting. So they take that same instrumentation, which kind of makes sense because every time you attack one of the divine beasts, it's kind of like a mini version of when you would finally enter Hyrule Castle. Okay, what are we at? Like 10 cool things so far? Let's keep going. We're barely even in the first phase of the... We got 3 more stages to go just in this one theme before we even enter the... Let's keep going. You see what I mean? I'm so glad we're finally doing this. Okay. Building, we're about to enter phase 2 of the Rising Island chain theme. Some low notes there. So first thing I hear is the clarinet notes sound kind of like this. And the way the clarinet plays sounds a little bit like it's forcing an overtone. So on the saxophone you can do that. Super complex. If you don't know what overtones are, you can go look them up. But even more interesting is the strings in the background. Do you hear they're kind of moving chromatically up and down? I'm going to save it, but we're going to get to some examples of that later on that are super cool. So adding in that Rito opening again. Keeping the Hebrew block going. Sounds kind of like a storm, right? So here we get the instrumentation from the Great Sky Island. That theme, as you'll hear in the background, uses kind of clarinet, saxophone, bass clarinet, a lot of reeds. Which also kind of makes sense because the Great Sky Island is an island, and we're in the Rising Island chain, so it's kind of flying, sky, air. Makes sense. Okay, again, Tulin's theme. Da, da, da. Reverse sound again. Da, da. First 2 notes of the Wind Temple. I can't wait to share this part with you. It's pretty cool. I discovered that one today, both of them. So again, that note, da, 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 that's the beginning of the Wind Temple. So they keep like teasing it a little bit. Octave piano, attack on Vomito, Blizzetta. Okay, did anyone hear what instrument entered? The accordion. Accordion, Kas, Revali, Tulin. It appears for representing the birds in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So it's Gnomes, and Windblight, Ganon as well, right? So all tying into, I think, Revali. So when the accordion enters, whether you realize it or not, subconsciously you kind of go, ooh. That's one of those things that I think hits you a little bit deeper in. Let's keep going. The accordion. Oh, beautiful. So combining things that we've heard before all into one. course, that 1, 2, 3, 4 in minor going constantly. Two cool things about that. Number one, we just heard Attack on Vomito. Obvious connection, we've already heard the 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we get outright the accordion playing the melody for Attack on Vomito. Second thing that's very faint that I'm not sure is intentional, I hear a little hint of Zelda's Lullaby there. And it happens earlier too. Let me rewind it and see if you can hear it. Right? What's tricky about it though is the accordion plays the dum, and then that continues in the background, and then you hear a dum, and a second later, so it could be Zelda's Lullaby. It could just be a couple of notes that I pieced together and made it Zelda's Lullaby. I probably get this one less than 50% chance that it's intentional. You never know. Yeah, D flat's a little too low for me. Sort of da 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 dum. What I call the ding dong. Little accordion again. This also reminds me of the final. Again, reminds me of the final phase of Inside Vomito. It kind of has that jump, 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 jump going on. Kind of the human voice. Right? The clarinet and flute going. Back up. There's a reference coming. I can hear that. Okay, it's a whole other video topic. The da 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 da. Even the main theme. Da 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 da. That's how Tears of the Kingdom signifies flying and skydiving and falling. I'm going to do a whole video on it at some point, but you can look at the skydiving game. You can look at the actual skydive theme, which we'll look at in a second, and then particularly when you land from skydiving. Check this out. This piece is literally called skydiving. Listen. Beautiful. You can hear the influence of the main theme, right? Da 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 bum ba da dum. Oh, by the way, da 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 dum bum, da 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 dum bum ba da dum. A little Zelda's Lullaby nod. I think that one's above 50% chance. Again, who knows? But da 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 dum bum. And as you get closer to landing, now listen to it in the Wind Temple. Beautiful. Isn't that awesome? Oh, it's not a touchscreen. Okay. I'll probably put in the mini dive ceremony. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure you're subscribed, like it, comment. Really does help the channel. Let's get into the Wind Temple. Same atmospheric sounds. So we finally get those two notes. Da-dum. Background noise stopped. Okay, if you did not know this, as a part of the quests to find the Wind Temple, you hear these tiny birds sing this song, and it sounds something like this. Little rough. 6th grade band and orchestra. Okay, so that's the melody of the entire Wind Temple, and it comes back several times, so listen for that. Dorian mode, gotta love it. Dorian mode is just minor. Accordion. Beautiful instrumentation. So that piano line in thirds, moving da-da-da-da-dum, that goes along with the Rito rising and falling theme that Breath of the Wild uses and Tears of the Kingdom develops. And it's all over the place. We'll get there. Da-da-da-da-da-dum. Again, little pieces of the Legend of the Stormwind Ark song, whatever it's called. Beautiful piano. It's like we're in the middle of the storm, right? We're in the eye of the storm. The atmosphere sounds stopped. The woodblock stopped. Okay. Quick music thing. Okay, so we're basically just using harmonic minor. So this is A minor. So when you hear this, and then you hear minor 6, you don't expect that note. So this is a minor major 7, kind of the James Bond chord. Right? You hear that all over the place. Austin Powers uses it to mimic James Bond, and it's played a little bit here. Snare drum usually is like warlike. Okay, shout out to my man Gaming Soul. He sent me a long comment with a bunch of references, and this is one that I did not catch that he did. Does anyone remember the second trailer we got for Tears of the Kingdom? A storm, again, in the sky. Low piano, snare drum. And then, instead of doing this part, it immediately goes into it. Dum, bum, 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 bum. Attack on Vomito. Super cool. There's a lot of reverb, right? That low piano is still bouncing around. Beautiful. I love when they take themes and like slow them way down and change the instrumentation. Okay, so I'm laughing because I heard that and immediately thought, Peter Pettigrew. If anyone has seen all the Harry Potters, you might know which movies I'm referencing. I doubt anybody remembers this musical line. So it's like the same notes and it's similar, like leading up to it. Obviously it's not a reference, but that was the first thing I thought of. I thought, and that piece didn't even make it into the final soundtrack for Harry Potter. Very interesting. I had to search for that forever, by the way. Another quote of Attack on Vomito. Very nice. Same notes. Da, 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 da. Okay. Yeah. How's that for a creepy cluster chord? Jeez. Down a whole step, same thing. Pedal tone. Bomb. Bum 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 bum. I feel like I recognize it. Okay, I feel like that piano effect happened somewhere else. Da 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 dum. Still happens, okay. Same thing, snare drum again. It's kind of creepy, right? Flat 2. Tulin's theme in its entirety. Even the next part. Anybody know what I'm about to show? It's almost the exact same notes. Pretty fun. Wow. So I've never realized this before, but that da, da, da happens inside Vomito in Breath of the Wild. Let me pull it up. I've never heard that before. Now listen to the Wind Temple. Same instrumentation, same timing, same volume. Wow, I've never noticed that connection. I'm telling you, this music is so deep. More snare drum. Da, da, da. Kind of the same thing. Okay. Phase 4. The voices, parallel fifths, Stormwind Ark, wow. Wow, that is gorgeous. So they don't just have parallel fifths, they have actually like a whole step in there from the bottom. So it's like a, so it would be like, something like that, right? So they're playing, where have I heard that? Definitely heard that somewhere. So those voices, I don't actually know what they stand for. I think it represents the Zonei. It happens every time you're at a Divine Beast. So maybe you guys know more than I do about those voices. I think they represent the Zonei. It's in the main theme. It's in a lot of the ending themes. It's in some of the cutscenes with Minoru and Rauru. So I presume it represents the Zonei. It happens in all the Divine Beasts. I'm not sure exactly what it represents. All I know is it appears here. Very interesting music. High oboe playing Revali's theme, aka Rito intro. A little bit adjusted. Building tension. Okay, we gotta stop and talk about that part real quick. All right. Intro to Rito Village. Obviously you can hear the slow rising up and kind of like this slow gust of wind, right? Then we get Revali's theme, which suddenly happens like a... right? And represents Revali's actual ability, which is super cool. Then we hear it in Tulin's theme, which we're going to get to later. Then we hear it in Teba's Encouragement, which plays right before you enter Divine Beast Va Meadow in Breath of the Wild. Right? It sounds like this, the injured bird trying to get up and can't. Then it's inside of Va Meadow, and it's kind of this push and pull moving up and down. It's in Heart's Praise. It's in Tulin Working Together. That's a whole other video, guys. That's used mostly in Breath of the Wild and developed in Tears of the Kingdom, and then Tears of the Kingdom adds this sort of skydiving, and it happens all throughout the soundtrack. It's gonna make an awesome video. I'll get to that sometime. Hopefully 2024, maybe 2025. Let's keep going. Beautiful. There's bum ba-dum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. I think it's a Breath of the Wild trailer. That sounds a lot like that. If somebody can find that, send it to me in a comment, because that's, I recognize it. It's similar to that. I don't think it's a direct quote, but some overlap there. Wow, so I totally missed that. Okay, so it's not from that trailer. That's Tulin's theme. It's just an harmonic minor. So they've taken a beautiful kind of major theme and instead made it minor and sort of disformed and corrupted. And that's a theme that you'll see in a lot of things. They use the dragon theme, which is sort of perfect, and there's a corrupted dragon theme where they mess it all up. Just a second ago, they played the Rito Village. Da 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 da. It goes da 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 da, right? So they play kind of the same beautiful thing. They get your finger to Village, and then they ruin it. They spoil it. They did the same thing with Tulin's theme right here. So cool. Phase 5. Using that same attack on Va Meadow. A lot more snare drum now. French horn playing the main melody. Beautiful. It's basically my first instrument in 6th grade, by the way. By the way, that da 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 dum, which we all thought in the trailer was from Age of Calamity, da 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 dum, it appears a lot in the trailer. It represents something else. I gotta do a whole video on that as well. Let me play something brief so that you guys can hear it. Now again, I don't know if there's any real connection here, but there could be. Let's keep going. The Rito effect, while they play a reference to Revali in the Rito Village. That's an attack on Va Meadow. Do you remember this? I covered that in a previous video. I called it the Final Fantasy lick because Final Fantasy does this. Obvious reasons. That's in the Blight Ganon theme. That's Revali's theme through the accordion. More Zonei voices. Beautiful. Super pretty. And that is my favorite turnaround in Attack on Va Meadow, and they did not quote Teba's Encouragement, this theme, which plays right after you attack Va Meadow and right before you enter. And then that turnaround. Gosh, it's so beautiful. And then parallel fourths, and they go to a perfect fifth. Parallel fourths again, moving chromatically, very Ganon-like. More Zonei voices. beautiful. Now they play it like a canon. So I remember Row, Row, Row Your Boat, where people would sing it at different intervals. It's kind of what they do here. Sounded like Ganon for a second. Fourths moving kind of dramatically. More snare drum, repeating that grooving line. Change a little bit. More oboe. Right, maybe another reference to that theme. Beautiful. In octaves. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, it's here. Colgera, but first there's a small intro that plays. Listen to this. Rito up and down strings. Did you hear that? Some of the bells. Hearing the bells? So very much like talking about it. Right. Okay, so they're already quoting some things from Colgera before we even hear the main theme. Okay. First, let me show you in Tulin's theme where this comes from. Beautiful. Major 7. We heard that reference a few times. Obviously that makes sense because we're traveling with Tulin. Okay. Intro to Rito Village / Revali's theme. Beautiful connection there. The Rito Rising theme. Kind of a mini Revali's Gale. Then the main theme again. Accordion! Now listen very carefully. I bet you guys didn't hear it. There's a very high bell. Dong, 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 dong. So that dung, 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 dung that's played all over Colgera seems to share a connection with Tulin. Super, super buried. I don't know if it's intentional or not. Absolutely could be. I mean, these people write the music, right? So they write that part for the bells. Then they use the exact same instrument, exact same line. I wonder if it's in the same key. Okay, so not exactly the same key, but you'll hear it all throughout this fight. It just plays on repeat. Listen. Little accordion in the background. Beautiful. Ah. And the high flute and then piano playing the skydiving. Okay, so some think that this references Molgera from Wind Waker. The name shares a connection. Colgera seems to be cold. Molgera seems to be molten lava, perhaps. There's only one small part later that could share like a rhythmic pattern, but it's a stretch. I really don't think there's anything intentional here, and that's what everybody was looking for in the beginning. We missed all the other stuff, but I don't think that was actually there. Again, that love that flute sound. Wooden flute. Look at the tambourine. That'll come back in a minute. More snare drum. More minor with a raised 7th. Every time I hear bum 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 ba-da-da-da-dum, I'm very suspicious. I think it's a Zelda Overworld theme quote. Not positive, doesn't have to be, but probably is. Again, up a minor 3rd this time. Super beautiful. Just building a little bit of intensity. Oh. That same line from the woodwinds, maybe intentional. This does remind me of some of the themes in Wind Waker. So that part, that part in particular, there is a little bit of Colgera in there. Right here in Colgera, it kind of does the opposite. So hear that part, and then hear the da-da-da-dum. Maybe it shares something. Again, it's a stretch. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Kind of the main theme in there. Da-da-da-dum. Right, so that part again. The voices. Okay, parallel 4th going 1, 2, flat 3, 4. My last video was all about that. Super cool. Tons of parallel 4s everywhere. The Zonei voices everywhere. Very cool. Bum 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 bum. Ba-da-dum. That flat 2, flat 3 is everywhere. Again, moving up, building in intensity. Back to Dorian mode, flat 6. Seems everybody's favorite part. Notice the instrumentation. This kind of wooden flute with tambourine. Dragon Roost Island plays both of those. Gorgeous. Different chords. Playing in octaves. Human voices in there. Wow. The trumpet, human voice, everything is super emphasizing it. But the actual instrumentation is wooden flute leading up to it and tambourine, and both of those are in Dragon Roost Island, right? And then in a second, they play it again, but this time there's a different instrument. Listen carefully. This is so cool. Still. Snare drum. A percussionist. Little accordion. Hear the high flute? High wooden flute. So who's symbolized by a kind of a high flute sound in a lot of times? Tulin. So it's kind of like Tulin is leading the charge on top of the wind. It's super cool. Very cool reference there. Reverse voices again. By the way, the chords are different there. Instead of the Dragon Roost Island chords, it's kind of a 1 raised, 4 major, which doesn't really belong in minor. It's like Dorian mode, and then flat 6, and then flat 7, and then 1. Those chords are kind of in Dragon Roost Island in the end, so it's a little bit taken from there, but it's a little bit different. Nice. High flutes. Lots of grace notes. Or turn. Again. A lot of 1, flat 7, flat 6 and back up. It always makes me laugh. What a cool battle this was. Finally. We did it. We got Wind Temple and Colgera out of the way. There you have it, guys. The Wind Temple fully broken down. Let me know if there's anything I missed in the comments. Thank you to my patrons. And as always, Zelda Music Theory, out.